Hello. I was going to talk today about low output microphones, noisy preamps, and whether these sort of things are worth considering. And I've sort of had to scrap what I've recorded. I did my usual thing. I recorded it, went to do the editing, with the intention of messing about with the gains and then normalising it so you could all hear the differences. And it went very wrong. Now, what I expected was that I could plug a microphone in, I could talk at my normal distance like this and we could listen to the noise in the background, because we all know that preamps, can be very noisy when you turn them up full, especially with things like SM7Bs. And I sort of shot myself in the foot because it didn't really happen. The interface that I was using was a presonus over there. And turning the gain up on it really just proved that the only thing that went up as I increased the microphone distance and turned the gain up was the sort of inbuilt hum in the background. So it sort of masked the results. So this time I've decided what I'll do is I'll record the audio on a Zoom, an H6, working on batteries. So it's not connected to the mains in any way. So any sort of noise in the background that comes from mains is not going to be there. And hopefully all I'll have to do is worry about hiss. So first things first, let's just cut from this SM7B, the one we normally use, to this one. So now we're on the other SM7B. It's not an SM7B. It's the one we use, yonks back, when we were looking at copy SM7Bs. And I thought this is an ideal thing because some people don't have the money to buy genuine microphones, so they've bought themselves a copy. And I've already had to put that little orange sticker on the back just to make sure I don't get these two mixed up, because they are very similar. But of course one is an awful lot cheaper. Now the cheaper one had a problem with the clamps. If you remember or saw the old video, it was very difficult to stop the thing moving about. But I've fixed that by bending, twisting, just making sure they seat properly and go into a little recess. It now locks perfectly normally, making it very difficult for me to tell the difference. But now we're recording me at my normal distance, which is that far from the mic. And we've got levels on the meter. Yep, they're working. Everything looks quite normal. The gain on this Zoom is actually full. I've turned the channel to full. So we're getting whatever the natural noise on that Zoom is. And I can't believe that this time, with this second version, what you're listening to now has not got hiss in the background. So the noise in the room here, I can actually hear a level crossing outside. So there's a beepy noise from a level crossing. It's very, very quiet. And there are some fans in the back of this. But realistically, what you're now listening to is the most I can get with my preamp in that Zoom H6 with this SM7B copy. If it's noisy, that's not very nice. So we need to do something about it. So the next step is to add a cheaper preamp. I've got one of these things. It's a little Chinese preamp. Feed it with 48 volts and it'll bring the level up, it says. And hopefully what I'll do is when I plug it into the Zoom, it'll bring the level up and allow me to turn the preamp down, and we should get a less noise-free recording. Almost certainly what I'm going to have to do with every single clip we're recording here is normalise them to the same level, and that way hopefully you'll hear the background noise go up and down. So I suppose what we better do is switch back to the SM7B for the moment. Right, this will let me unplug this. I won't stop it recording. Right, there we go. Now, instantly, it's gone off the scale on the levels. I don't know if you can see that. There's the meter, and you can see that level on channel 3 there. It's off the top. So let's reduce it down a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. Input gain is down now to 7. Down to 7 from 10. So hopefully the gain from this little preamp here is letting the natural gain that the preamp inside the recorder not work quite so hard. So theoretically we should have an increase in usability because the noise should have gone down. I'll shut up for a second, hold on. So that's the room noise. Any hiss you hear there that's different from the previous one is a benefit. Benefit of having a preamp in line and not having to use the preamp inside the recorder working flat out. So let's replace this preamp with the one that should be even better. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, back to this one. So now we're on the fake SM7B with the square shaped preamp. These are a bit more expensive, about 40 quid. 30 quid for the other one, once all the taxes and bits and pieces get added on. But the recorder now, the gain has gone down from 7, which we used on this preamp. So the gain was 7, the gain is now 6 using this square preamp. So I'll shut up and give you an idea of the background noise. Okay, has it worked? Well, I guess I'll find out in a few minutes when I start to edit the video. I'm hoping that what you heard was a hissy signal on the SM7B working straight into this H6 because the preamp had to be turned right full. We then replaced it with this little inline preamp and I could turn the gain down, and now we've used the square one and the gain's gone down yet again, and hopefully that drop in gain from the H6 every single time should have benefited the signal to noise ratio. I don't know yet, and we're about to find out. Well, there is a slight difference in the noise, but it's not a lot. In actual fact, full gain on that H6 I assumed was going to be really noisy. It wasn't. So full whack on that one is not very noisy to start with. The difference then with those two preamps is minimal. I'm left with the conclusion that the commonly talked about noisy preamp situation is actually nowhere near as bad as people are saying. I'm not sure if just by luck I've just got two items here that don't particularly have hissy preamps. I really don't know. I assumed noisy preamps with maximum gain was a normal thing, and clearly it's not as bad as I thought. So we do have a difference. What I'll do here is give you 3 sections of noise. It'll start with H6 working flat out, then the H6 gone down to gain number 7, and then the H6 at gain number 6 as the preamps give a little bit more extra level. So the difference is really small, and despite the fact that I'm working on batteries, I'm still picking up noise, and I think I've tracked it down to the lights. So in actual fact, in here, I've got so much RF interference from all the lights that are around me, which of course nowadays are all LED. And I think that's where my noise is coming from. And the changes in preamps, for me, are not making a huge amount of difference. Well, you've heard them. What do you think? Realistically, I don't think you should buy either of these unless you're absolutely positive you've got a noise problem. So if the hiss is annoying you and you can hear it loudly, then either of these two things would probably make it better, the £30 one, the £40 one, or the £70, £80, £90 cloudlifter. I'm just wondering if people don't have as much of a problem as they think they do. Anyway, have a think on that one. See you on the next video. Look after yourselves. Take care.